Every day, the kidneys filter nearly 200 liters of fluid from our bloodstream, allowing toxins, metabolic wastes, and excess ions to leave the body in urine while returning needed substances to the blood. The bean-shaped kidneys lie in the superior lumbar region and extend from T12 to L3 vertebrae and receive some protection from the rib cage. From superficial to deep, the three layers that provide support and protection for the kidneys are the renal fascia, the pararenal fat capsule, and the fibrous capsule. A frontal section of a kidney reveals three distinct regions. The most superficial is the renal cortex, deep to the cortex is the renal medulla, and lastly the renal pelvis, a funnel-shaped tube that collects the urine and that is continuous with the ureter leaving the hilum.
In the nephron, we start at the afferent arteriole that carries blood into the renal corpuscle, which has two parts, the glomerulus and the glomerular capsule. The glomerulus is a tuft of capillaries that is porous and allows filtrate to enter glomerular capsule. It has two layers, the parietal and the visceral. The visceral is at the basement membrane and is made up of foot cells. This is where the filtrate enters. The filtrate is then carried into the proximal convoluted tubule that is made up of epithelial tissue and has cilia to help reabsorb, secrete, and move. The nephron loop is then used in the reabsorption of sodium. Next is the distal convoluted tubule, which carries the filtrate and other substances into the collecting ducts, which collect the filtrate and fuse together closer to the pelvis to create urine.
The ureters are slender tubes that transport urine from the kidneys to the bladder. The ureter wall is made up of three layers, the mucosa, which is made of transitional epithelium, the muscularis, made of two layers of smooth muscle, and the adventia. Each ureter connects into the posterior bladder. The bladder has two openings for the ureters and the urethra. The bladder is made of three layers called the mucosa, a thick muscle layer called the detrusor, and the adventia. When the bladder is full, its walls are thick and collapse inward to form rugae. As urine accumulates, the bladder expands and the walls stretch and thin. The urethra drains the bladder to the exterior. It is made of three different types of epithelial tissue. The urethras are different lengths in men and women.